Christian Pedersen, Bodie De Silva's on Zoom. In studio, we've got
Tom Morris.
David Ring.
David can be found as the hitting guru of the David Ring Player Development Center. He is the house of highlights for San Diego high school baseball and softball. Tommy is blatantly shilling for his alma mater. If anybody would like to attend USC, they can apparently talk to Tommy about it.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. So blatant advertising.
It's okay, man. Welcome back to another episode of San Diego Prep Insider. This week we will be covering a fair amount of playoffs and a fair amount of baseball. Soccer playoffs have begun. Baseball, we discussed last week how we would put together a fantasy draft. We'll cut to camera number 2.
It's going to be cut over to Coach.
Coach Ring is dealing with a now awake intern.
Hi. Aren't you sweet? Aren't you
This is going to make a lot of sense in the video and 0 sense in the audio.
Thanks for the hug.
I'm just glad that you're confident that some part of our show is going to make sense. Very
the
little bit
only
ever does to
intern
people.
that's allowed to hug me.
You know what? Hey, yes, exactly. Very happy about that fact. Bodie's joining us on behalf of Scorebook Live. He can be found at SD Preps on Twitter and Instagram or at SB Live CA. Guys, let's get to some game balls real quick. Bodie, here's how I want to do it this week, just so because we got a ton to get to. We're gonna go. Tommy gives us all of his game balls. Dave gives us all of his game balls. Bodie, you'll give us all of your game balls, and then we will get out of there. Move on. Fair enough. Intern approves it.
Oh no, hold on. I've lost my.
You've lost your game balls.
Don't throw me.
The intern is throwing you off.
I know because I had it up and then I was doing more research and now I can't find it.
Fair enough.
Stupid. Oh, here I just found it. Never mind.
You good?
Got to click. Hang on. Oh, that's why, because it opened in my Google Docs thing instead.
Our apologies for the technical difficulties.
Yes.
Tommy Morris, are you ready to deliver this week's game balls?
Yeah, I'm gonna do it a little bit differently this time because I've been trying to get some of the girls' sports in here, but girls' soccer playoffs. I want to just kind of mention quickly who's left, who is in, so forth. We're going to start with Division 5 for my first game ball. It is going to be Holtville and Morris are playing. Morris coming off a 3-1 victory over Bayfront Charter. Calvin Christian will be playing Chula Vista Learning Community Center. Guajome Park, a 4-3 win over Madison. I also want to shout out Guajome Park for winning 13-0 in the first round. That's kind of insane. They'll be playing Mount Miguel. Orange Glen with a 4-0 victory over Liberty Charter will play River Valley. So I just keep going. That's how we're doing this. I'll just give random shout outs. I don't want to turn this is going to turn into list radio.
All right, how about this? Just break here, Tommy, because we have the power of clipping this independently on social media. Just give me a nice, and in Division 4 and in Division 3, just count us down one, like maybe a game out of each division that you are excited about seeing, or a team that you want to give a shout out to for their win.
Okay.
Division 4.
Division 4, we have Southwest going to play the winner, still not announced for whatever reason, of Claremont and Castle Park. Brawley will play Imperial. Foothills Christian will play Classical, and Hoover will play San Ysidro. Shout out Foothills Christian. I love shout-outs. They won 4-0 in the first round. Division 3 girls soccer. We've got Christian playing University City, Santa Fe Christian playing La Jolla, Oceanside playing Central, Sage Creek playing Mira Mesa. Shout-out for this one goes to Oceanside because they wanted PKs. It was 1-1, 5-4 PKs over San Pasqual. I love PKs. I wish there was a version of PKs in every sport. We got to figure out
what would that be in basketball? Wouldn't that just be like they play free throw competition?
half court shootout.
PKs are the best.
I would
half court shootout would be sweet.
Microphone check.
How would you rather have a baseball? Or no, like, can we put this on the poll?
Yeah.
At SD Prep Insider, how would you rather have a basketball game be decided by half point competition or by horse?
Half court shootout.
Half court shootout or by a game of horse?
No, the exact same rules as soccer. You get 5 dudes, you get to shoot a half-court shot.
And you have to shoot it on 1 foot. Boom.
Yeah.
Has to be a 1-footer.
No, if you can shoot with 2 feet, good for you. And then if it's tied, same thing. Then you got to go to more dudes, and it would be awesome.
Has Dave ever said anything that more directly implies that he's a baseball guy than essentially chucking up a half-court shot with both feet on the ground?
Like a granny shot from half court.
There we go. That's perfect. That's
super
delightful.
high.
That nice arc on it. Tommy, where did we leave you off? Division 3, I believe?
We are going to Division 2 now.
All right.
Bonita Vista will play Francis Parker. Westview will play the Bishop School. Mission Hills will play Coronado. San Diego Academy will play Valhalla. Double shout out here. We have 2 PK winners, Mission Hills winning in PKs and San Diego Academy winning in PKs. I'm just all about the PKs right now. Love it. We're going to go
PKs.
Girls, Division 1 soccer. Del Norte will play Poway. Granite Hills will play West Hills. Canyon Crest will play Helix Charter. Steel Canyon will play Mater Dei Catholic. A lot of buys in this one. The only team that really kind of played a game or decided to post a score would be Canyon Crest. They won 2-0 over Grossmont, so good for them. And we'll go on to the Open Division. Girls Open Division Soccer. Cathedral Catholic awaiting the winner of Torrey Pines in OLP. That is happening as we're recording, basically. So I'm going to make a prediction. Torrey Pines. I think it'll be Torrey Pines. I'm going to look really dumb when we post this, but I'm going to think Torrey Pines will play Cathedral Catholic. That will be a battle of Delmar Heights Road, if it happens. If it doesn't, then I'll look like an idiot. And the Costa Canyon will play Eastlake LCC coming off a 3-0 victory. Should mention as well, Cathedral is the 1 seed, so that would be an awesome game and a good opportunity for those rivals to play each other.
Dave Ring, your game balls for this week, please.
You forgot to tell everyone that I've been getting DMs all week. Am I on your team? Am I on your team?
I've gotten 0 DMs.
Yeah, you're significantly more plugged into these people than we are directly, because we are the jerk-off media guys who look like idiots when we call the wrong team going to the playoffs or decide to put Carson Baker 16 spots lower than he deserved on a list 5 years ago.
If you're watching
like
for the teams, we got teams today,
bro.
baby.
We got teams today, so let's get through the game balls.
All right, game balls. I'm doing this because we got a lot of hitters.
You're
on
doing
teams.
this so you don't have to get fined.
We have yes, exactly. I want to mention some pitchers today. So this is a pitcher-heavy game ball day. Coda.
I thought you were Kingsley.
Coda.
When you made that noise.
Coda Alto, Santana. He's got 7 wins for his team. I mean, a lot of what wins are for a team is, everything has to go well that day. Obviously, the offense has to produce while the pitcher is in. So props to you for throwing your best stuff and Santana giving you some runs. Jacob Rabago, Mount Carmel, he's got 7 wins. So 8 wins is the leader in the county, just so you guys know. Noah Waldeck, Tri-City Christians, got 6 wins. Derek Silva, Southwest.
May I put a quick pause
Yeah.
on what you're doing right now? And Bodie, do you have the ability, you were able to look up the section leader in home runs? I'm curious, just because we talk about big numbers in home runs. I don't know anything about how close we are to section wins record. Bodie, do you have that bandwidth to look that up while Dave continues? All right, Dave, please continue.
Got a few more guys for you here. Ethan Solly, Mission Hills, he's got 6 wins. James Smith, another guy for Mount Carmel, he's got 5 wins. So a couple pitchers, starting pitchers for Mount Carmel, really doing well this year. Last couple, Angel Brodell, Brawley, got 5 wins. And let's go with our last one, Cody Del Vecchio, Mission Hills, he's got 5 wins also. So this is a team effort. Runs are scored. Pitchers throwing well, but a very important stat and huge numbers for a lot of guys this year.
If I'm not mistaken, Del Vecchio is the last name of a backyard baseball character, isn't it?
Angela Del Vecchio and
exactly.
Tony Del Vecchio
Yeah.
with a brother and sister combo
it's a good baseball name.
in backyard baseball.
I just like saying that last name.
Do you think these kids have any idea what I'm talking about?
I would assume that there's probably been a couple during the time that we have done this show, but probably less and less as every year goes on.
Yeah. That's too bad. Great game.
Because it morphed into a bunch of different sports, and I think it existed well past any of us played it as
That's
a
true.
primary game of anything. But I don't think it exists nearly as much of a thing as it was.
Hot take, they ruined it when they put the professional athletes in there. It was way better when it was just like the little character kids.
Fair enough. So you didn't like the kid versions of the Major League Baseball, football, and basketball players coming back.
No.
And
Also, fun fact: Albert Pujols is the only active Major League Baseball player that was in that game.
Jeez,
That's hot.
that's a scary fact. Dave, are you done with your game balls?
That's
all right.
pitcher heavy today only.
Bodie De Silva from Scorebook Live, your game balls, please.
Yep. So going with those, I'm going to start with Manoa Chapman, Calvary Christian sophomore. Last 3 games, 3 triples, 2 doubles, 8 hits. He's hitting .622. I know it's in smaller school division, but he's a kid who's already committed. Clearly a big-time talent. Edwin Alba from Morse. He had 7 hits and 5 runs scored during their last 2 games against Lincoln last week. Morse, really good team. They swept Lincoln, and I think that's a team that can make a deep playoff run. And then going down, I'm going to take another sport here. Alexis Marmolehouse, the guard from Army Navy. He had 34 points against Foothills Christian last week, and then the next night had 37 against Francis Parker. He's a kid I completely forgot, still only a junior. It feels like he's been at Parker now 4 or 5 years. So hopefully in a normal year, I know it's been a little tough for Parker with what athletes are allowed to play with having kids that do live on campus and kids that don't, and them not being able to mix. So he's another kid I'm looking forward to seeing in the future.
Bodie, you got the section wins record for us?
I do. Yeah. Looking back at it, I think the pitching rules were a little different with not having pitch counts and inning limits. But in 1961, Dave Moorhead from Hoover won 16 games. So that's one I don't think will be caught anytime soon.
He definitely pitched like half the games. Yeah, there's no way there's an inning limit on Dave Moorhead.
1 week.
Yeah, Dave Moorhead was noodle armed after that.
A tie for second. Crawford's Bob Boone, so Major League All-Star and former manager. But the most recent one, Matt Osborne from Rancho Bernardo in 2013 had 12. So maybe that's one that we could see someone get close to a tie this year.
That's got to be almost every game you start in like modern. Yeah. That's insane.
Unless you're just a really lucky reliever.
How many did Grant Holman have? I feel like Grant Holman had a year where he was close.
He probably had 10, is my guess.
He obviously wasn't close if it's only 12 as the second place guy.
Yeah, I think it's 10.
No, I mean, we're talking live ball era.
We're talking
BB Core era.
We're talking pinch count, BB Core era. Yeah, that's the thing now with all these pitch counts. I mean, it's tough to get 2 wins.
To answer Tommy's question, Grant Holman's junior year 8-0, senior year 8-1.
Ooh. Oh, that's what it was. He never lost until that one game. I remember that.
One loss.
Yeah, he only threw 21 times in high school. So I mean,
that's crazy.
That team though,
that team is insane.
That team though. Speaking of teams, we saw 2 teams clash last night on our live stream for the boys open division soccer. Jonathan Rifkind is joining us now to give us a little bit of a recap of last night's game and talk maybe about Jonathan, if you don't mind, the girls game that you got coming up. Are you there, Jonathan? All right, sweet, man. So last night you were at University City versus San Pasqual. Give us a little bit of a recap on what happened.
Yeah, it was a tale of 2 halves for all intents and purposes. I was watching the Arsenal game right before, and there were 3 points during the match last night where I almost went into a British accent. And so I have to make sure that I'm watching soccer matches to prep. I keep it American.
Can you give us a preview of the British accent?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. It has to be off like a Freudian slip. It can't be asked like this.
Okay.
Maybe if you're lucky, I'll screw up one time.
Not on command. What if you did it for like a football game? That didn't make any sense. A baseball game.
I'll have to start doing meters though instead of yards if I do it for football.
Well, for track, it makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll do some track. We'll figure it out. Anyway, so yeah, this was a tale of 2 halves. It was number 6 UC taking on San Pasqual, who's the 3rd seed, and a perennial actually. Not only out of North County, but really in San Diego in soccer. They get a bunch of academy kids. John, their head coach, has been there for 14 seasons, and they have a really good team. Last night, 0-0 at halftime. All of a sudden, and UC really controlled pace of play for much of that first half. Out of the gates in the second half, something changed, and the formation for the Golden Eagles shifted. They were pressing up. They were attacking way more through ball flank consistently, and they have a really good attacking front. He's led by Ray Willem, who is committed to Oregon, and he did end up scoring the first goal in the 44th minute, and then they got a second goal in the 84th minute. UC was really pressing. In the 87th minute, they forced an own goal on the Golden Eagles to make it 2-1. And then they had 2 more shots on goal in the final 2 minutes of the game. And unfortunately, Tanner Reski, the phenomenal receiver for San Pasqual, was able to make one really good diving stop and a tip out to limit the damage to that one own goal. So they ended up winning 2-1. They're on to play St. Augustine next Tuesday in the semifinal for the boys open division. Should be a good one.
And where did that kick out? Wait, no. Let me. I got a question for him.
Augustine.
Oh, Augustine, yes.
Augustine.
We all do that.
Augustine.
Jonathan, where's that young man committed to?
Augustine.
Which school?
The University of Oregon.
Okay. I wanted to give you an opportunity to say it again because I feel like that shirt is a rebuttal to my sweatshirt.
I didn't know you were going to wear a USC sweatshirt. I wear a USC baseball jacket sometimes. Don't get me wrong.
Even if you, well, in the wall too, it's just plastered.
Saint Augustine.
I love the wall.
USC,
I see the USC one.
press
I do.
right here,
I like that. You should make that one bigger.
Yeah, I'll just go
Get
scale
photo
it.
enlarged.
Fraudulent Heisman's fraudulent press passes. That's what
Is it
USC
really
is.
Augustin?
Yes, it's Saint
like the
Augustine,
wind.
like a gust of wind.
I was nobody. I've been here doing this now for 2 months, and nobody's told me this.
Because you should.
Because you're so polite, no one wanted to correct you.
No, just I hadn't heard it. I hadn't heard it.
All right. I've been saying it on broadcast.
I still get nervous every time
Augustine.
that word comes up. Still,
Is it really?
That's why I say Saints.
Everybody just calls them Saints. On social media, they're literally just the Saints because nobody wants to have this argument. That's why
There you go.
I have it just seared into my brain because of Tariq Thompson's crying face when I had to say, "Welcome to St. Augustine's safety, Tariq Thompson, who just lost. I'm sorry that I have to do this interview." That is professionally seared into my brain. Jonathan, you've got a girls' game on tap tomorrow night. Tell us about that matchup.
Yeah, this is a really interesting matchup. It's actually a rematch. It's West Hills taking on Granite Hills. Obviously, two teams coming out of the Grossmont Hills League. West Hills finished third. Granite Hills finished fourth. Granite Hills tied 5 times this season, though. And one of those ties was against West Hills back the second time they played. West Hills won 1-0 in the opening match between the two teams in the regular season. So they went 1-0-1 against Granite Hills. So it should be good. But Granite Hills, 5 ties. Only 3 teams in the state of California this year had 5 or more ties. Vista Murrieta, Torrey Pines, Brea Olinda, and Granite Hills. So if 3 of those ties or 2 of those ties turned into wins, it would have come in second in the Grossmont Hills League and probably been up for an open division spot. So it's kind of crazy how ties in soccer really can shape out your seeding for the postseason. But don't sleep on the 11-seeded Granite Hills. This could be a really, really good matchup against West Hills.
Point to point.
When and where and how can people find that game, Jonathan?
5 o'clock, West Hills High School. Watching a beautiful sunset with what would you call the field, Christian, when we talked about it?
Smurf turf.
I just said it was blue. I just said it was the blue field.
You didn't give it a name?
I don't think so.
You now have time to come up with one. That can be your opening line. Welcome to, and then just.
Well, there's probably a literal name for the field. Most fields tend to have one.
Yeah, but is Boise State? They call it Smurf turf there, right? We have to come up with something else if that's what it is.
Yeah, but that's Albertson Stadium or whatever.
Yeah.
The Wolf Den.
No, the Wolf Den. No, it has to be something blue.
Dave.
It's like
hold on.
Was that his ringtone?
Dave, what was that?
That was you.
That was me?
Yeah, that was you.
What?
That was your ringtone. That had to have been your ringtone.
That was my ringtone on your phone?
No, it was your phone. It has like a Taylor Swift ringtone.
No, that'd be my phone.
Someone call you?
No. Don't. Why are you trying to deny what just happened?
I'm just on Instagram right now. Just chilling.
Fair enough. Is that
that's
iPad?
it.
There it is, right there.
No, he's on Instagram.
Okay, deal.
That was
Fair
me.
enough.
He has
Listen to
the volume on his
T-Swift.
Instagram.
Little T Swift on some Insta.
Okay, let me snowball one not snowball. Spitball one. The ocean out east. What? Because West Hills is east and the ocean isn't east.
Wait,
so it's ironic.
actually, that's poetic. Very poetic.
It kind of rhymes. You can use that, but if you come up with a better one.
I'll find a way to throw that in. How about that?
Okay, perfect.
I'll credit you.
Perfect.
I got you, Tom.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Now I'm going to think of these all day. This is going to be my thing that I'm going to be thinking about.
Let me know.
I don't think I'm going to beat that one, but you're
Open
smarter than
line
me.
of
You're smarter than me. So
communication.
yeah, okay, exactly.
We put it on the poll at SD Prep Insider. Do you prefer watching Taylor Swift Instagram videos instead of our show?
Yes.
Find all the polls at SD Prep Insider.
Sometimes is that an option?
You can watch or you can stream Jonathan's game Friday night, like he said, 5 p.m. at whatever we decided is the name for the show. I was doing the polls. Jonathan, thank you very much for sticking with us. You're welcome to stick around. We got a lot of other stuff to talk to though, but we appreciate some of your time getting ready for all this soccer nonsense. I mean, soccer greatness.
Nonsense.
I mean, I just want championships.
Christian
I just want
Pedersen.
championships.
Playoffs.
I don't want playoffs. I want championships. I'm sorry. I cannot care about a semifinal anything right now when my first open division champion. Let's get there.
I just want penalty kicks.
He wants, so Tommy has an interesting idea about all sports should end in penalty kicks of some variety. Maybe.
Baseball.
Well, like in
everything.
basketball, you shoot free throws.
Half court shot.
I'd rather you just play. I'd rather you could hit like a game winner in overtime.
The only other thing you could do is a slam dunk competition.
A slam dunk contest was like subjective.
Exactly.
Just
There are
randomly.
also teams with guys who can't,
Teams that can
who wouldn't
play.
be able to compete because they can't dunk.
So is a half court
You just-
shot.
then you
Some
just
people
lose.
can't throw it half court.
You just lose automatically if you don't have a guy who can dunk.
All 5 of us here on this show have a chance. We all can make a half court shot.
That's
I
true.
guarantee
That's
you.
true.
I think if you gave me 6 shots at it, I'd be able to get it. I'd need a couple that are like kind of close, and I'd get it. I think because if you line it up right, it's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard.
It's not that hard. No.
I don't know.
All right. On that note, thanks, guys.
Deuces. Appreciate it, man. All right, guys, it is time for us to debut our fantasy teams.
Yes.
Our fantasy draft are entirely intended to be just for celebrating the fact that there are a ton of good players playing in a ton of situations where you could be somebody who's statistically significant and not be on a winning team necessarily, because baseball just doesn't break your way. Like, you get really, really good players sometimes in situations that don't give them the proper love and attention. So this whole exercise is not intended to replace all CIF. It is not intended to be all first team, all anything. It's just intended to be each one of the 4 of us sees baseball a tad bit differently. So we picked, what was it, 10 or 9 position players and 4 pitchers.
Plus 1 utility / bench guy.
Well, that's the
No.
That's
Oh, that is 9.
That's
Okay,
your 9.
yep. If you don't have a pitcher, you need a 9. Yep, that is okay.
Tommy running
All
the dirty dozen on us.
I forgot about math.
But yeah, so we're just trying to give these guys some love. So how do we want to do this? Do we want to all do debut each of our positions? Do we want to all do our full teams? How do you guys are you? I mean,
I'm good with going around as long as we go fast.
Let's go full
We
teams
catcher.
quick.
full teams quick? Deal.
Okay.
Tommy Morris, you're up first.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, then who do you want?
No.
Bodie De Silva,
No,
you're
I'm
up first.
ready.
All right, fine, Tom.
let Bodie go first. Let Bodie go first.
Okay, going around
Legit.
with mine, the theme on mine, I tried to pick a lot of guys that are two-way players. So if I need to get in that pinch hitting situation, maybe it's a guy you can keep in the game as your reliever. Just trying to think ahead. Anyways, my catcher, Charlie Fick, Randy committed to Cal State Fullerton. First base, Duke Ekstrom, also a guy who pitches, a sophomore from Point Loma, committed to Vanderbilt. Manoah Chapman, sophomore at Calvary Christian, a San Diego State commit. Connor Blau from Sage Creek, he's going to LMU. Grant MacArthur, a junior from Granite Hills, put up a bunch of big numbers so far this year. Outfielder Weston Clark has had a bunch of big hits for Canyon, a team that I got in the top 10. Mark Prince from La Costa Canyon, that's a team that I didn't know a ton about preseason, but right now they're up at the top. They'd be the 2 seed. And then Daniel McElvaney, a guy who signed with San Diego State, mainly an infielder. I have him in the outfield for this drill. And then Kyle Harvey from San Marcos, a guy who's just crushing the baseball, nearly hitting 500 so far this year.
Tommy Morris. And I will say this. Here's how there is no real reward for any of this, but we will do this on vote
Most
entirely on Instagram, solely on Instagram, because there's no way to compare Twitter metrics to Instagram metrics. So go to our Insta to vote on this, but it'll be just likes for votes. And next week's team will get some love. Tommy Morris, your
Can you
team.
post mine last? I feel like there's a bias towards the one that's posted last because it's higher in the feed. Whatever. Anyway, for catcher, I've got Isaiah Gomez from Grossmont. First baseman is Jake Woltman from La Costa Canyon. Carson Williams, Torrey Pines. I cheated. I know he's a shortstop, but I put him at second base. My third baseman is Javier Martinez from El Camino. Sophomore's playing really, really well right now. Deuce Gorison from Point Loma is my shortstop. Him and Carson can switch back and forth every inning. So we're good there. Braden Ross from Christian is right fielder. Quincy Scott, good two-way sport guy from Mission Hills, is my center fielder. Ben Pay hits a lot of jacks from La Jolla Country Day, who is close to the county leader in home runs. He's a left fielder.
Ben Pay hits a lot of jacks.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yes, that's a yes, right? Okay.
Yes.
Wait, hold on.
It's always with the buttons. We never know. Well, that works, actually. That's actually perfect. Going to the Rock Academy, Matt Fusella, we just put him on our Instagram. He committed to University of Hawaii Mona. That is the big Hawaii. Manoa. There's a reason I wasn't going to say that word. But is it really?
Manoa?
I thought there was an A after the O.
Yeah.
No.
O-A.
Yeah.
Ma.
Moana.
No.
Okay, whatever. We will go to the pitching staff. Evan V from Grossmont is my ace, my number one. Ray Cebulski from East Lake is number 2. Noah Waldeck, again, a guy who can play shortstop as well. I got a lot of shortstops. From Tri-City Christian is number 3 pitcher. And Gavin Graff from La Jolla. Fun fact about Gavin, I've not seen anyone do this. When I was looking at stats for this, he's the only kid I've ever seen who his avatar on Max Preps is him just at a Padres game. It's not like an athletic photo. It's just like him at a Padres game. So I respect that. It's kind of cool.
That's amazing.
It's interesting to stand at the Padres game.
Hold on a second. Gathering firsthand
up.
experience of this right now.
So.
Oh,
Also
dude, that's
one
an
of the few guys
epic
that's thrown a
photo.
no-hitter this year.
Wait, what'd you say, Bodie?
He's also one of the few guys that's thrown a no-hitter this year.
Yes, that as well. But more importantly, his photo is him at a Padres game.
Well, yeah,
better
we're
accomplishment.
we're
No
gonna-
one else has done that.
we will put that for 100% sure on our Instagram. Does Gavin Graff have the best Max Preps photo of all time? We'll put that on the poll. Also, at SD Prep Insider Dave,
I'm ready.
is this team Dingers' best addition ever?
My guys hit dingers, that's for sure.
All right, well then
That's
run
the
us down this
specific
lineup.
criteria for making it onto my team. Gavin Skurs leading off for me. He plays at UC, having an amazing season. Skirt!
There, I was waiting for that.
He's committed to Luther baseball. Man, he's hitting like 500. Marcelo Mayer's my shortstop. He's possibly going to go number 1 in the draft this year. Shunsuke Saikano. Shun, they call him. He's at RB. He's playing second base for me. He's a Cal State Northridge commit. Peyton Schultz, who plays right on the other side of the infield with Shun. He's at RB. He's my third baseman.
Can
Long
I
Beach
interrupt
State
really
commit.
quick? Shun is like a perfect name for like the whole crowd yelling it at the same time.
Totally.
Oh man, that is.
Oh, I couldn't help it. I had to.
Yeah, exactly.
Shun.
Exactly.
Trevor Fox is my first baseman. He's at Saints, SDSU commit. This guy's got 6 bombs this year. Kian Vu, center fielder for Point Loma. Guy can fly. He is uncommitted at this point. I don't see that lasting much longer than this summer. Ryan Rivera, San Marcos, my left fielder. Guy hits bombs. Definitely good guy to have on Team Dingers. Jake Bold, Princeton commit. One of the smartest guys I know. La Jolla Country Day, right fielder for me. And then my DH / mop up the RBI guy, Jake and Tranken, Steel Canyon. He's a Point Loma Nazarene commit. I wanted to put a couple other guys on there, but Christian, Tommy, and Bodie, you all stole them. So I'll go to my pitchers now. Chas McRoberts, Saints.
That's how this works.
That's what
you don't get to just pick whoever you want.
You guys stole my favorite guys. No, I'm
That's
just kidding.
genuine salt right there.
I'm just
That is a
kidding.
pile of it.
I wake up in the morning and they're like, this is my pick. I'm like, no. All right. It's okay, though. My team is legit. Chas McRoberts,
He's
Saints.
grinding the table so angry.
Colin Rothermel, RB. Ryan Ellis, Patrick Henry, and Jaden Wilcox, Grossmont. Pretty nice starting 4 there. I could go with any one of those guys to start the game.
You could, but you'd lose to my team because you don't have anyone to finish the game. Because I took all the relievers and kickers.
All right, what you got?
All right, so here's what I got. I got a team that I would like to start with my pitchers.
We should do that actually one time. When we do this for football, just have one team that's just all kickers. That is so
Kickers
funny.
I can tackle.
So the only problem you'd run into is just that line is not going to necessarily have a ton of girth, with the caveat of, and I was just talking about this yesterday, of Devin Lloyd from Utah, or who plays at Utah right now, was the punter for Otay Ranch. Like, you might get some of those kinds of situations
Yes.
where there's the hyper-athletic tight end or safety that kicks, and you can maybe put together a little bit of a team.
There's some linemen who kick.
Yeah. You know.
It's the best.
I digress, though. I'd like to go with my pitchers first.
Okay.
I
Yeah,
have
of course.
2 of the top starting pitchers for strikeouts, and I have 2 of the top starting pitchers for wins. And that's where you guys are all just going to lose to my team. Zach Isaacman from Torrey Pines has got 8 dubs this year on the mound. I 7 or 8. I wrote 7 and 8 here on my notes. Solid preparation for me.
It could have been previously 7 and
Yeah, he might be on 8 now by the time the show is published from Torrey Pines. And then Coda Alto from Santee, he has 7 wins this season. So yeah, I like guys that get dubs, but I also like guys that get strikeouts. So that's why I went with Thomas The Ringer from Mount Miguel. He is 200 strikeouts pace this season, having a great year. And then Jackson Betancourt from Mira Mesa is my lefty. He's my certified, got the skills to get it done, change of pace guy. On the field, Ariel Armas behind the dish from Saints. You know that he can hit. Basically, you know that he can hit is probably the most cliche, redundant term we could say about any of the players that we picked on all of our teams. They all hit very, very well. I went with Caleb Homel from Gross Squad. He'll be my first baseman. Ali Camarillo, because I think that he could compete in any sort of bat flip competition at this point in the season. He knows how to do it just as well, if not better than anybody. I like him at second. Gavin Perry from Foothill Christian is my third baseman. He can also pitch a little bit. Daniel McIlvaney from Bonita Vista is my shortstop. Left field, I'm going to go with Bryce Martin Gruzelanek from Torrey Pines. You can never have enough Torrey Pines guys. You can also never steal enough of Dave's guys. Matt Haston from Hoover is going to be my center fielder, one of the top guys in stolen bases this season in the county. I like speed. It covers my defense well in center field. Put him somewhere as that leadoff type guy. Tennessee Carranza from Brawley, because you never want to underestimate a guy from either Imperial or Brawley or Central. All those Inland Valley teams, really, they know how to play a good brand of baseball. Then, Bodie, you talked about him earlier today. Edwin Alba from Morris is my sort of utility guy, because he can hit a little bit, and if you're doing a thing like this where it's 4 teams just going at it, I say abandon all concepts of defense. Give me good pitching, give me good hitting, and go from there.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is Martin Gruzelanek playing in college somewhere?
I believe that right now he is committed to your arch nemesis.
Does
Yes.
UCLA have names on the back jerseys?
No.
Can you imagine,
Yes.
like, if you're the equipment guy and that's just a lot of letters? I don't know how you fit that. You have to do like 2 rows.
Let's hope that the Texas Rangers would not pass up an opportunity then to try and one up that and have it work in their big Salt of the Mafia type arc.
It'd have to be a full circle almost.
Yeah. Several lines.
My fault. Go for it, Bodie.
Sebastian Granados from Steel Canyon, committed to Northridge. Really ton of strikeouts this year, two-way guy. Conrad Bond from Carlsbad, San Diego State guy, another two-way guy. Austin Smith from Granite Hills. He threw a no-hitter a couple weeks ago. Great player, headed to UCSD. And then Michael Villani from El Camino, having a really good year for the Wildcats. He's going to Santa Clara.
Love it. So go on to our Instagram. What are we going to say? We will the winner will be the team that has the most votes at like the time that we do the show next 1 week from now. Like, we're not going to do no cutoffs on any day specific, right? Like,
the second we record.
Yeah. Okay. So as soon as we hit record on next week's episode, so you got about a week to vote at SD Prep Insider on Instagram.
Actually,
so Team Dingers was the name that we heard.
Dog bite in honor of the
Team Dog. Good job, Kingsley. Bodie, do you have a team name?
We should have cool logos like MLB The Show. Oh man,
You want to go into the show and create your own logo and just send it to me?
I kind of want to. I kind of want
do
to.
Can you do hat? Can you do hats the way you did helmets?
Yeah.
Like, because you did the football helmets. Can you do like
some
all of our team's baseball caps?
Yeah. The only thing that's a little difficult is, I mean, there's obviously an easy way to do it, and I just do it the hard way. Is like photoshopping the tackle twill. You know what I mean? The coming out of the hat.
Oh.
But
wow. That's impressive.
No, see, I was picturing this much more as like a comically funny, like, it's just like some sort of stupid clip art that you go
we
with.
can do that. We can do the clip art.
That it like it's too big.
No, we can do that.
All right, so Team Dogbite, Bodie, we will continue to filibuster until you think of a team name should you want to, but it's okay if you don't.
Also, you're allowed to vote you can only vote for Team Dogbite in the first week, and the second week you can go for the other teams. But the cutoff is still after 1 week.
Fair enough.
That's how you win.
Fair enough. That's a pretty shifty change right there. You can find all of these, like I said, at SD Prep Insider. We got Dave's Dingers, and then I believe that is it. We are fully caught up on the week of high school sports. I will also say, before we get to Dave's Dingers, we will be tweeting out and posting all the different links to all the top 10s. There's lax numbers this year, which is sort of doing some it's a little bit disorganized in that. The main thing that we're going to be posting, though, is all of the playoff bracket and information, and because those are going to start rolling out in the next about 4 weeks, I think, is what we have until the last of the playoffs are fully underway with baseball, softball, and water polo. Tommy, you're smiling?
I have a good idea for one of the hats.
Okay. deal. But yeah, so we're Saturday's the next seeding meetings with boys volleyball and golf, and it's gonna start coming really quickly. So just pay a lot of close attention because there's gonna be a lot of great stories happening in the next couple of weeks. Bodie, anything else for you before we do Dave's dingers and then get out of here? If you want to follow for more of what Bodie is spending his time working on at SB Live CA on Twitter, on Instagram. David Ring, close it out this week with Dave's Dingers.
Make sure you check Bodie's Twitter page because he's got a top 10 out there. And so he's got a couple teams that I'm curious what you guys think. So I looked this up. Okay. Who is leading the county as far as the teams go in dingers?
Boy, could you be?
Okay. Who do you think, Christian?
Point Loma.
Who do you think, Bodie?
Shoot.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's probably the right one.
It's by 1 right now, and Bodie is right. San Marcos, 35 home runs. Grossmont, 34. Country Day, 28. And for me, I think, you look at the...
I got the third place one.
You look at the top 10 that Bodie put out. San Marcos is in the top 3, who's not leading the league. Grossmont is in the top 3. And Saints are in the top 3. Saints has got 19 dingers as a team. I thought that was really interesting. Dingers help win games.
I think I've seen them all in division, but there's just so few teams that have enough pitching. When it comes down to the playoffs, there's just going to be teams that can hit, and that's why at this point I would trust San Marcos and Grossmont. You go through the whole order. Extra base hits, they're going to put it over the wall, and those would be my picks for the championship.
Yeah. All right, I got 4 dinger balls to give out. Excuse me. Ryan Ellis, Patrick Henry, first dinger of the year. He's also a pitcher. So this guy,
Ohtani.
He's not just a PO.
This guy.
That's what we say. We call him the Ohtani of Patrick Henry. Jackson Castillo, RB. Home run against Ramona. Isaiah Gomez and Ryan Rivera now with 10 bombs. This is ridiculous. It's getting ridiculous.
Is just 2 that are alternating?
3.
Okay.
Okay, so we've got 2 guys with 10 bombs this year, and they're tied. Or 3 guys with 10 bombs. Ben Pajak's got 10. Marcel's got 13. This is quite the home run race we've got.
Sosa McGuire.
I love it. And my last dinger game ball goes out to Nick Cook, Poway. If we're talking about bat flip ratings, this guy hit a mammo yesterday and had an amazing bat flip. Go check it out.
That's the first time I've heard you use that one.
Mammo.
Yeah.
Mammo bat flip.
Dave, I feel like you and Bodie would put together an interesting competing rankings on what are maybe the hierarchy of like the top 10 or 15 home run adjectives.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that put
shirt.
down on. That can be a next shirt that we create.
To the podcast.
No. Yeah, I would like one of those as well. If we gotta have like.
So you gotta put so what like.
And we'll do our top 10.
The top one should be like that's a home run, and then so people understand what's going on, and then
Right,
that's
that'll be our efforts towards next week. The way we did the.
We've not made a shirt yet.
We've not made a shirt yet. Let's
make
kick
sure
that
you
going.
vote for Team Dingers. By the way.
Yes, go vote for all of our teams.
Christian, what was your team name again?
I don't have one yet either.
Oh.
Because I just put my team together last.
Okay.
Trying to think. I'm gonna have to think of something that's like a team sheesh or something like that. Something that's more young and millennial.
If we go back to 2017
What was
days, you were like Team Fire or something like
Team
that.
Fire emoji, yeah.
Team Fire emoji.
Yeah, I think it was Team Fire. There you go. Yeah, I'll bring back something like that.
Was that 100 emoji?
Is your graphic going to be better than the OG graphic back in the day, or
Probably.
remember those?
Yeah.
It was like a field with
Yeah.
players on it.
That would look like backyard baseball.
Well, so these things are
I
just.
loved it.
I think that these things are somewhat just kind of hard to figure out in terms of how to best do, because you don't just want to do names. Like
Yeah.
you want to like for baseball, part of it is about where you position people.
Totally.
But no, I'm yet to put together the graphics. I got the teams now, so I'll mess around with it today.
No, Bodie was definitely had his manager hat on.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
I'm got two-way guys in here. I've got my
And he spanned
pitchers
the whole
at
county.
first. Yeah, exactly.
Nothing should surprise you about that.
Exactly.
I
That
know.
Bodie brought his A game. I think that's everything, guys. That's
Good show. Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, folks. We will talk to you 1 week from now with results on this, and we will be knee deep in a pair of playoffs. We'll have some champions decided. Looking forward to it for everything. Follow David Ring 4 on Twitter, on Instagram. Follow Real Tommy Morris on Twitter, on Instagram. Follow SD Preps on Twitter, on Instagram, or SB Live CA. You can download the CIF Sports 365 app to just get all of this without having to follow anything. We can just send it straight to you. That is the easiest way to get this all done, and that helps us out a ton. Make sure to give us a 5-star rating, reviewing, thumbs up, whatever the word is. It definitely helps spread the word about San Diego high school sports. We'll talk to you next week.
Okay, so the reason I started laughing, no matter what Bodie's team name is, I'm just gonna nuke that thing in a bunch of Scorebook Live ads. That's gonna be